These most recent attacks in Minnesota, New Jersey, and New York bring to 15 the number of terrorist attacks on American soil since September 11, 2001. Most of the attacks while President Obama has been in office. 5 of the attacks taking place this year. To assess the rising frequency of these attacks and President Obama's broken promise to destroy the Islamic State, joining me now, former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, American Enterprise Institute Senior Fellow John Bolton, also Fox News contributor. Ambassador, great to have you with us. And let's start with this rising frequency of attacks. 3 of them in Minnesota, New Jersey, New York. John Miller, head of counterterrorism, saying it's a part of life. Have we really come to that our law enforcement officials are saying this is part of American life?
Sure, it's just like the weather, you know, in Obama's view. You can't do anything about it. It's like knocking over the local Starbucks. It happens. It's a terrible thing, but you would just have to learn to live with it. I think if we don't have a debate in the next 7 weeks in the presidential election about this war that the terrorists are waging against us, we're going to lose all hope here. I think the American people see this exactly for what it is. I think they understood from the get-go that these bombs in New Jersey and New York were part of a terrorist activity. And I think they're heartily sick of the unwillingness of the Obama administration to understand or to describe the ideology we're facing. So I hope on this debate coming up next week, it's about American security in part. Let's have a debate on what the terrorist policy should be.
And at the same time, many of the prominent Democrats in this country are calling for more Syrian refugees. The president wants to raise the number to 110,000. Hillary Clinton herself wants to bring in 550% more than the president. And the mayor of New York City, within a day of these attacks, is calling for more Syrian refugees to come to this country, as the FBI acknowledges we're incapable of even vetting them.
Right. It's only going to get worse if we do that. But, you know, in Obama's speech at the UN today, in the midst of 50 minutes of turgid platitudes, you can see the logic that leads him to this. He described the world, the whole world, not just the United States, as divided between the 1% and the 99%. So we're not just going to equalize income in this country. We're going to do it worldwide, and we're going to do it in large part by allowing people to go wherever they want. This is what they describe at the UN as the borderless world, and I think it's something Obama is perfectly comfortable with. Let's have that debate, too.
It seemed at various points that he was, in fact, Ambassador, advocating such a borderless world, advocating for a supranational approval of his own failed 2 terms in office. It was a remarkable performance in that regard. This is a president who is obviously incapable of self-analysis and judgment and critique beyond his own ability to glorify himself.
Well, let's be grateful, Lou, that we have a perfect president. I mean, it's not often that you get that. He criticized countries around the world, certainly criticized the United States.
11 times. And 11 times.
He's the only one who seems to be immune from criticism. But that's why I think it's very clear, if you listen to Hillary Clinton, that she shares this same worldview. I mean, you have to penetrate the obscure rhetoric. But if the people really want that view to continue, if they want open borders, if they want no screening of terrorists, if they think this is just a law enforcement matter, we're going to live with it forever, by all means, elect Hillary Clinton.
And you notice that she has not even mentioned in the aftermath of these terrorist attacks her oft-repeated promise to give amnesty to all illegal immigrants, irrespective of the number, within the first 100 days of assuming the presidency.
Yeah, this is a central part. If it doesn't matter who's within the country, if the country is defined as anybody between our borders, then we don't have a country anymore, and neither does anybody else. You can see the reaction across Europe. Of course, they disdain that because it's nationalism. You know, we're beyond that in the Obama team, and so is Hillary Clinton.
You know, Congressman French Hill, here last night, pointed out a Pew Research poll that showed that attitude is beginning to change in Europe, and particularly Eastern Europe, which senses correctly that it's been abandoned by both the European Union and the United States. There is an awakening even perhaps in Germany, where Angela Merkel is saying, well, whether sincerely or not, that she might rethink her migration policies, as she puts it.
Her collapsing polls might be an incentive to that.
She has 6 of 16 governments now within the provinces of Germany. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lou.
Great.